Oh, howdy all, grab yourself a drink. It is time for some Path of Exile 2 discussion. Welcome to teaser season for patch 0.5.0. Today, we're going to be going through all of the things Grinding Gear Games put out really early in teaser season. I'm calling today day one of teaser season, but it's kind of been a bit of a weird one so far. Grinding Gear Games have been dribbling out really tiny little teaser videos that don't quite merit a video each on their own. But taken together, the first four of them end up telling a bit of a story. So this video is going to be having a look at these four. We're going to be discussing what we know about patch 0.5.0. But the first thing I want to say is that today is day one, but day 5 is actually going to be when the big news is going to hit. So that is the day that the main live stream announcement is taking place. I don't know exactly what we're going to get there because this is a new structure for teaser season. It's something that's unprecedented. It's different to what's come before. And so as a result, all of the things that we've known about how GGG have chosen to structure things in the past, none of those necessarily apply. Anyways, the first teaser trailer that they put out gave us a name, and that was the Return of the Ancients announcement teaser. However, there is going to be a coherent theme that goes through all four of these videos that they've put out so far, and I want to quickly mention it so that you can look for it. This all looks like it is Endgame Overhaul information. Now, I want to just start by saying that there are two interpretations that I've seen doing the rounds on this. The first one is that this is evidence they're planning to overhaul the Arbiter of Ash fight. The second is that this is evidence that they're planning to overhaul Expedition. The reason that some people think it's Expedition is because everything is bursting out of the ground. So we're seeing things rising up from below the surface. The reason some people think that it is the Arbiter of Ash is because the eventual building that we see looks like it could be a triangle, which is the shape of the burning monolith. Which of these is correct, or whether it's something else entirely, is something that we'll have to find out. Anyways, let's just watch the video and pay attention to just the massive scale that this is set on. This building looks like it is Everest-sized. This is not a small building. Up you go. And now we zoom a long way out, and then you see that the entire platform is just so eclipsed. But even that entire platform is completely and utterly eclipsed by this structure. So that is the first of the teaser videos Grinding Gear Games put out. At the time, it gave us the name for the expansion, Return of the Ancients, and it also gave us this cryptic teaser that, like I said, people have got two different main interpretations of, and maybe both of them are wrong, maybe one of them is right. After that, we had a second teaser trailer, and this one was the Uncover Ancient Truths trailer.
I've traveled far to learn the origins of my craft.
Now, it's worth noting here that the voiceover that's coming out here is definitely male, but it's kind of hard to say anything further about what it might be. The most similar voice that there is from Path of Exile 1 is probably the Duelist, but I don't think that this is enough evidence to say that they've definitely decided, okay, we're going to go with the Duelist and that this is a teaser for the Duelist. There's also a little bit that will come up in a second where this character is going to hold a weapon up into the air, and it could conceivably be a small sword, it could conceivably be a dagger, and it could conceivably be a trap, depending upon the exact way that traps are implemented in this game. So I think Grinding Gear Games have decided here they wanted to troll us, and they wanted to put out something that could conceivably be the Shadow or the Duelist, and leave us guessing without giving us enough information to say which of those classes is coming.
For knowledge is power. I'd risk it all to uncover these ancient truths.
Okay, and there you see something that looks a little bit like Aracali, but also, as well as looking a bit like Aracali, there's a slight Expedition hint in the color scheme here, and there's also all that mist, which feels like it's Delirium. However, Delirium, there's going to be something that comes up a bit later that is going to be clear that that relates to another video. Next up, we have the Stop the Madness trailer.
I am called from my mountain.
Fun fact, this character is the NPC that you see in the interludes that gives you one of the unique items.
We must stop this insanity.
Okay, here we unambiguously have something that is the fractured mirrors of Delirium. The exact mechanics that this is trying to showcase, we don't know, but we definitely have something here that ties into the Delirium mechanic.
Please, save me.
And again, we have the dishonesty theme that goes with Tangmazu, the key antagonist of Delirium content as well. And finally, we have the Now It Is Our Time trailer. This one came out just this morning, my time, so just a few hours ago, and this one is very, very breach coded.
The threat looms over us still. But with his rebirth, our time has come. Will you join the war?
Now, this one has that extra quote at the end, the "Will you join the war?" But the key thing that we're seeing here is everything is talking about the dreamer must wake. For those of you that are fully up to date on Path of Exile 1 and Path of Exile 2 lore, what we're seeing here is that when Breach first came out, there were 5 different Breach Lords. There was Zoth, there was Esh, there was Tull, there was Ulnatol, and there was Chayula. 1 for each of the 5 damage types. Now, at some point late in Path of Exile 1's lore, these 5 attempted to merge, and 4 of them turned into Zesht. That is all of them except for Chayula. Chayula then becomes an NPC that you interact with a little bit, quite a ruthless ally that you might work alongside in Path of Exile 1's 3.27 patch storyline. You probably don't like Chayula very much after that, and chances are you didn't already because Chayula prior to that had been a boss that you would fight. But you at least get a bit of a sense as to who the Dreamer is, because Chayula is the Dreamer. So that's the facts of what we've got in terms of all of the teaser trailers so far, and enough for us to start talking about what this means. But the other thing that is critical to understand in order to put all of this together is that during patch 0.4, Grinding Games announced that they'd been working on a major overhaul of the endgame of Path of Exile 2. However, they weren't able to finish it. So patch 0.3.1 brought quite a number of changes to the endgame in Path of Exile 2, but there were a number that were being pulled over to be done later. What a lot of people are interpreting, given that we're seeing a whole bunch of content here that relates in some way to endgame bosses, is that all of the endgame mechanics are getting an Abyss level polish pass. I don't know if this is correct, but it's the most common thing that people are thinking. So, Abyss is definitely the best of the mechanics that we've got at the moment at the endgame of Path of Exile 2, and a lot of people are speculating maybe they're polishing up Expedition to be as good as Abyss is, polishing up Breach to be as good as Abyss is, polishing up Ritual, and so on and so forth. Now, this could mean complete redesigns of bosses, and particularly if that first video did happen to be about the Arbiter of Ash, the Arbiter of Ash is the boss in Path of Exile 2 that most needs a polish pass. So these are some of the things that people are speculating all of this means. Of course, the firm information for this is going to come about when we get to day 5. When we get to that main live stream announcement, we're going to go from cryptic information and cryptic teasers to a clear road forward that the game is going to be taking. Will the Atlas still look remotely familiar to what it is at the moment, or will that be fundamentally changed? All of this information is going to be clarified when it's Friday my time, which might be Thursday your time, and we have that major live stream announcement. Now, Grinding Games often run MTX promos when they do these live stream announcements. They haven't yet announced that they're going to do one this time. I think they probably will. If they do, then I'm going to be rebroadcasting it over on Twitch. If it turns out that they're not doing one of those MTX promos though, I'll probably rebroadcast it on YouTube instead, because YouTube actually is a better place when it comes to streaming. People that miss part of the announcement can then rewind. They can speed up to 125 or even 175% speed, potentially eventually catch up. And it ends up being a better all-around solution than broadcasting Twitch, then uploading that as a separate video over on YouTube, which is what I otherwise have to do. I'll end up doing whatever ends up working out the best. Anyways, it is good to be back in teaser season mode for Path of Exile 2. It has been a long time. And honestly, I wasn't very impressed with 0.4.0. As soon as Temple Inflation took hold, I was just done with 0.40. Really hoping that 0.50 is the redemption that this game needs, because after 0.40, it definitely needs a lot. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. May your Varlobs have interesting results, and I will see you around.